Question number 12. Two different squares are constructed. The side length of the smaller square is x. So we've got one square with x on both sides. And then the side length of the larger square is 3 centimeters longer. So in the larger square, this is x plus 3, and this is x plus 3 as well, because they are both squares. The combined area is 22.5. Show that this equation is true. Now, when you're asked to show something, you are trying to end up at this, not begin with it. So I'm going to ignore that completely, and I'm going to work with the information I've been given, and then I'm going to hopefully arrive at this equation. So I'm told about the areas. So if I work out the area of this shape, length times width, the area of that one is x squared. If I do the same for this, to find the area of that shape, I'm going to have to do x plus 3 times by x plus 3. So I'm going to have to use FOIL on that. And then the other piece of information it tells me is the combined area of those two squares. So if I add those two areas together, I get 22.5. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to manipulate this and try and get it to look this way. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do FOIL on these two brackets. So the x squared at the start is still there. Then I'm going to have, first is x squared, outside will be 3x, inside will be 3x, and last will be plus 9. That's still equal to 22.5. Now I can start to manipulate and collect my like terms. So x squared plus x squared gives me 2x squared. 3x plus 3x is 6x. And then plus 9 on the end. And I'm also going to bring the 22.5 over to this side and make it a minus 22.5 equal to 0. I'm on my way to getting what I want. Now I've at least got it equal to 0, but I can see that I've got these two numbers to work out to start with, and also I noticed that I've got 4x squared here, whereas I've only got 2x squared here. First thing, let's tidy these two numbers up. So I'm going to get 2x squared plus 6x, and I'm going to end up on minus 13.5 is equal to 0. Now, how do I get what I've got to look like what they've got? And I can see straight away that by timesing each of these parts by 2, I will have exactly the equation that they want, and therefore I have shown it rather than starting with it. Part B, find the dimensions of each of the squares. So I'm going to use this equation now, and this time I'm going to solve this equation. So 4x squared plus 12x minus 27 equals 0. So I'm asked not to use trial and improvement, so that means I need to factorise. So we've got to find two numbers that add and times. They've got to add to make 12 in the middle, and they've got to times to make 4 times 27, which is 108. So two numbers that times together to make 108 and minus 108, that should be, sorry, and add together to make 12. So this is a typical question where people give up very quickly on finding pairs of numbers. If you're unsure of two numbers that times to make 108, just go through all your pairs of factors. So 1 and 108, 2 and 54. 3 doesn't go into this. 4 goes into it with 27. 5 doesn't. 6 does. 6 and 18. And at that point I can see that they've got a difference of 12. If I want to make this negative and I need one of the adding up to be positive, I need to start on minus 6. Split the middle term, so I get 4x squared, and then I'm going to get minus 6x plus 18x minus 27 equals 0. Factorise the first two, so 2x is common in there, and I get 2x minus 3 in the bracket. Factorise the second part, so 9 is common in there, and I get 2x minus 3 in the bracket. The fact that I've got a repeated bracket means that's one of my brackets, and the other bracket is the 2x plus 9. Now, from those two brackets, I can find out my x values. So I get either 2x minus 3 equals 0, or 2x plus 9 equals 0. Now, from this one, I take the 3 over, so I get 2x equals 3, so x equals 3 over 2, or 1.5. From this one, take the 9 over, I get minus 9, and then I'm going to divide by 2, which gives me x equals minus 4.5. Now, right back at the start, we were told x was the length of one of the sides. Now, you can't possibly have a negative length, so x must be 1.5. So in terms of the two squares, the smaller square, that is the value of x, 1.5, and then the larger square was that plus 3, so 4.5.